Bonjour. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. We got Marie, we got Kirsty, we got Chris Tech, and we got Stefan. How you doing? Kirsty. Not a draw along. I'm working hard to try and do better. All for you. And you're throwing that back in my face? Unbelievable. Bonjour. How we doing? So, okay, I'll give you a bit of context. Are you listening, Kirsty? In all fairness, I've not done a great deal of, other than practicing these clouds, I've not done my normal routine. I'm looking after a friend's house and dogs for them while they're away, which is like 3 weeks. So I'm like all over the place. I'm juggling 2 households. I'm juggling 4 dogs total. I'm a bit all over the place, so no prep at all for anything. I'm just going to try again to master these clouds. I've got another little idea as well, though, that I'm going to try and work on, so we'll see. But I tell you all the time, most of the time this is me practicing and just hanging out with you guys. So what's up, Lestro? Artner, how you doing? Hello from France. Bonjour, my friend. Bonjour. Milo, Cat. Oh, Milo. Hang on. Oh, that's because I was typing. No, it's fine. It's all good. It's all good. No, sorry. I thought Milo was a patron. You're always about, so I assumed as much. But we were talking earlier about some people's statuses haven't changed, like their color on Discord. A lot of that stuff hasn't changed, unfortunately, because Patreon's doing its usual thing. Let's just rearrange this. Slight smidge to rate. That's a bit better. No, I'm in center. So, Julie. Do you want to see some bits that I've been working on? Let's have a look. Switch you around. So some little bits I've been working on. You've seen my sort of practicing with the clouds. You want to see my bets? We saw this one last week. When I look at this now compared to what I've already been doing this week, I can see there's lots of room for improvement. Like, and I started to like work on doing the highlights and then doing really fine details just to finish it. And I think again, this what I explained last week, like I really want to nail down the process and understand what it takes to do it, and then we can move into a tutorial. Nah, mileage all good. POTBW literally just tagged you in a new post. I've officially made Cooper a brother astronaut. Oh, cool. Sick. Christine, I could only connect to Patreon. Connect Patreon to Discord on my PC. Didn't work on my iPad. Maybe there's an issue. Maybe. Now it doesn't seem to have the option for my iPad. What's up, Amy? How you doing? His name's Carter. Okay, that's pretty cool. I'm going to start moving Cooper along a little bit, and I'm trying to work out how in his journey we can do it. I'll give you, it's maybe a sneak peek, it might not be, it may not even come around. Anyway, someone mentioned the awesome one as well. I've got lots of things to show you. Then moved on to, a lot of you have already seen this, and this is a bit brighter on the screen I'm seeing now, but working on some like light clouds. I find the light ones really hard to do because you've already got such a, say that again, Joel. Carter. Let me say it not naturally. Carter. So you don't pronounce a T sometimes. It could be Carter or Carter. What's up, Bunko? Yeah. How you doing? Yeah, working on light clouds. So that one's pretty hard. Oh, and AL to be. I tried my best. Light clouds are very tricky. You saw this one the other day. When I came back to this, I didn't realize how red it was. It was like apocalyptic sunset. At the time, I got so engrossed in it that I totally didn't even realize how much color was in it. I would probably tone that down a little bit. But then this one, I was practicing doing the finer details on those edges here. So like this cloud here is a great example. Like just doing some real fine lines in there just before you move on. And then also that's when I started to introduce like just seeing a little bit of the stars in the sky to try and like have like a full transition. And then this is the one I did yesterday, which was pretty fun to do. I've sort of moved it around a little bit, which I'll explain in the tutorial as and when it comes. For this one was cool. I like the perspective of it down here, and that's the color palette I'm going to work with again today, so I can just practice it a little bit further. You can see a little Cooper one there. Now I don't know if I want to do this. So this, by the way, is nothing as in terms of, this was just me running around with an idea and just seeing how it may or may not come out. I wanted to like blur everything out, like leave everything to just focus on Cooper. So like a real shallow depth of field. You can see the hills right in the background are completely gone. There's a little bit of detail in these columns, but then I also wanted to try and do like a bit of a mirage style, but I don't like it. It is something about how it came out. The thing is, Cooper's got to go down the hill and then he's got to walk through those pillars that we made. So I think we need to get him along through there. New subscriber, Nicholas Harrison, if you are in the chat, thanks for the sub. Woohoo! I'll slap some air horns on there as well. So yeah, that's this one thing. We've got a new Cooper stamp though, so I've got him walking now, so we can move along. I think I need this step though, because again, if we think about like how, if you looked at the tutorials, could you work out where he was going? I need him to move from the hill through here and then move into another part of the story. Yeah, okay. I think we may do that. All right, let's have a look at some other stuff. Some of it you saw last week. This was the awesome text design. So there's like, you can see that shadow coming from this side, this top left-hand corner, and just like a really cool, just liquid running off sort of glossy metal look to things, really. See, I just did it again, metal rather than metal. And then this one here, I'm not going to zoom in on it yet because that's actually going to be a tutorial. I think it may or may not be Patreon, I'm not sure. Oh, and I've got Pikachu still to do. And I still got the alien as well. The owl obviously hasn't made it anywhere yet. I still got the idea of doing the emboss and whatnot. And then the vibes one as well. Let's have a look at what we're saying in chat. Have you tagged me in your Carter design on Instagram? I'll take a look at it after this. And British people do not, I mean, it's just done it there. British people do not pronounce the T, probably because we drank it all. Ah, very good, very good. Give you a little yay for that. No, actually, now we can give you a little applause instead. Oh, that one doesn't want to work. Okay. Oh, there we go. What's up, Emily? Thank you very much. Appreciate you dropping in and saying hello. Showing some love. Cat, well, was it your idea for the fox? No, it was not Cat's idea. It was my idea. It hasn't been approved yet. I literally just posted it in the Procreate Facebook group, lol. Oh, okay, interesting. Beautiful. I have an idea for the fox. Oh, okay. Right, let's try and work on this one. So the fun thing with these is once you nail sort of the sky, you can just put anything you want in front of it. Oh, you have an idea for the fox. Joel Reed. Oh, Tobiak. Is it Tobiak? Just become a patron. Do we have an alert for it? We don't. Thanks for that. Appreciate you saying hello. We can get the air horns out for that one. Kirsty, Joel, quickly, this is important. Go on then. Go, go, go. What's up, Louise? And Milo just became a patron. Ah, oh, finally, the welcome to the family. Love that, Milo. Coming and joining the family. Should we get a party? Look at you. Milo, you should receive a email shortly with your with some details on how to link your your Discord to Patreon, and then you'll be able to get your color name, and then you'll also be able to get the extra access. Where's Charlie? Charlie's upstairs. He's got too much energy today, and if I leave him, he'll just be back there somewhere just going nuts. So I just can't do it. He's going, just got a printer. Oh, cool. I'll be printing out my artworks and then sell them. That's awesome. Cat. Give it a rest. Cat. I might as well just call you Cat then if we're going to roll with that. Right, should we do something? The cool thing, yeah, with the sky is once you nail sort of your idea, you could put like anything in front of it. You could just duplicate it and flip it so that it's like water underneath. Or you could put a city skyline in front of it, maybe some hills, however you want to just cut or add into the project, really. Can we see the doggos? We've missed them last week. Camera died, that is true. Maybe I'll go back up and get them. I don't know. Can you hear the music? I'm here for the art. Sorry, the art. Right. Let's grab this palette. So, what did I use that one for? Silhouette. So then these ones, we can just create any sky color we want. All of it's using the flat brush as well. well, all of it, most of the details of it. The rest, then we use the airbrush, a little bit of that. What's up, Barblin? Hi, Joe. I was just going to go for a walk and I saw you on my phone and that you were live, so I stopped to say hi and love your tutorials. Well, thank you for taking the time to come in and say hello. I appreciate you being here. Perfect. Let's add some color into Scar. So the only thing you have to bear in mind all the time is kind of a direction. So I'm going to replicate kind of what I did yesterday, where like down here is going to be the brighter area. Slap some color on there. That'll do. And then we can maybe introduce some pinks in the transition of the sky. Wait. Oh. We then actually need to add a new layer, and then we just literally grab the brush and just streak all over the top of it. New subscriber, Jill Lewis, thank you for becoming a subscriber on YouTube. Go backwards and forwards, create some streaks in the background. I'm hoping that I can do a good job of doing the tutorial. What's up, Jens? Hi from Germany. Thanks for dropping in and saying hello. So just streak some color across there. Maybe we also grab some like blue, streak that through the sky. Okay, a bit bold, and then a bit of pink maybe as well. So the way that this brush, this is going to be important, so pay attention. You can see that with the flat brush, it really layers on top of each other, and then if I zoom right in, you can see every time it does, you've got loads of these different tones, and because they're like, you know, that's a bit of yellow on top of a bit of pink, then you get the mid-tone in between, so it comes out really nice. So like, you can see how quick I was with that sky. Like, that's all we need to do when we come to do it. I should do a good enough job of the tutorial. You can't guarantee these things. Calm the chairs. And then we grab a new layer and then we start painting on our sky. So we grab our main color, which I believe is this one. And all you do for the sky is just go backwards and forwards on yourself and just create shapes. That's it. You can see I'm just randomly just sort of creating a little ball of fluff down here. I'll do a larger one here. It's going backwards and forwards. The only thing I've got to keep remembering to myself is not to I get into a habit with doing this of stacking them in like lines almost, and that's not the way to do it. You need to make sure that they sit in behind each other. That's it. That's the foundations of your You are kind of right, Kirsty, to be fair. If you can follow along, you can follow along. There's not really... I can't give the palette out because the palette will be part of the tutorial, so... So you got like movement. See, like it fans out. You've got kind of narrow here and then it fans out towards the end. So you can't have the palette. You can try your best with some other colours. I have spoken. You see how strong and authoritative that sounded? So, and then you reduce the brush size down and then just layer it on top again. So you work out where your light's coming from. This is the light source. So it's going to hit the right hand side of all the clouds. And then, but at this point we may grab, say, the selection tool and then just grab that top layer, go all the way around, and then bring that closer together so it sits in behind there. And then we just start a layer, and this is like how sort of easy it is in a sense. You just go backwards and forwards on yourself and just create little random bits of fluff. Little bits of fluff. You can create bits. Just going backwards and forwards, and then every time you do, you just layer the colour up on top of each other. Anyway, how is everybody? Like I said, I'm currently house sitting for a friend. So I'm in between houses at the minute, which is a bit stressful, like with whatnot, but it's good for. They're beautiful dogs. They got a black Labrador and a cream and black pug, and he's like an anchor. When we walk, he just drops to the floor. Very heavy, doesn't want to move, just holds us back. Kirsty, do you just paint in black without Joel's pale? Jilly, you've been mean to Kirsty. You two are like BFFLs as well, and you've been horrible to each other. The brush is the flat brush. So under painting, flat brush. I'll happily share my settings with you if I have changed mine at all. That's looking quite nice. Let's do one like right out here that like makes its way down. And then a couple of different layers of it. Fluff this up, and then every time you press really hard, you create like a really lovely strong highlight on the side, and that's all we want to do. We want to hit that highlight, hit it real hard. Do down here as well. The only thing I also need to bear in mind is perspective. These ones at the top should be a little... my perspective is technically wrong because these clouds up here would be in front of these. I suppose it depends on the angle you're actually maybe looking at it. Maybe this one down here actually needs to get a bit bigger. Let's go a bit ballsy and make a big one here. It's the one that sits right in front of all of them. Increase the brush size, and let's just really flush out this one here. Nice and fluffy with this one. Okay, that's coming together in terms of its movement. That's looking pretty good. I might add some streaks in here. This is the thing with the tutorial, guys, is like that's going to be a bit different to my tutorials. My tutorials a lot of the time are very structured. You've got to do one thing to then move on to the next, or we do one thing to then maybe shade it or highlight it, and then we move on. Whereas this style, as you can already see, it's just on one layer. Like we're just going to keep going through one layer and just keep building that up and up and up. Joel, just check if my Patreon is active. Just did it. Yes, Milo, we let's have a look. I think it's all good. Sometimes it takes a little while for the email to come through, but you're all good. You are all good. Let's just check this. Yep, You should be all good. So you should have your email come through pretty soon. Isn't that the brush for the sky on the Four Seasons? The sky. Yeah, so Kat, you're right. I did, and that was to use like the streaks in the sky. So now we're just using it. What you do is you start off very big with the layers, the shapes, and then come down on it, and then go really fine with the details. So yeah, it's just we're adding a few extra steps in here. And what's up, Daniel? How you doing? Thanks, Jay. Appreciate that. It's coming along quite nicely. You can start to definitely build it all up. But at this point, you can then also start to introduce some like darker tones. So you don't go straight to your shadows. We can just start to darken up some of like the ends of it and just introduce some brighter tones in here. And sometimes it's good to be brave, but it's very much a build-up process, and drop a color in and see if it works out. Like that one's maybe a bit too bright, so I wouldn't use that again. I would probably drop to let's go to this one. Actually, it matches the color of the sky, so introduce some reds into these clouds, and you can drop some of the color onto the actual light parts that you've already done. I'll add in a little bit more color. You also want to try and separate them. So like this one here, I should probably try and go back in. You can use the eraser as well as the flat brush, which is pretty useful. And just go in here and just separate them. And that's, so what I was getting at is, you know, the tutorial it's not going to be so much like, okay, now we've done this, let's move on to this. It's going to be, let's, you know, drop a little bit of this color in here. Let's drop a little bit of this color in here. And yeah, so that's something it will change a little bit the structure of the tutorial. I've got a little bit obsessed with this style this week, just as you can tell maybe from Discord, but just really want to, you know, when you feel like you're on a path for something like style wise, and you think this could be like a nice little thing to add to my repertoire. So if I can, like, I like quite flat designs a lot of the time, so to add this sort of style to the possibilities of us adding it as a you know, as a tutorial type is pretty exciting for me. I want to absolutely nail it so that you guys don't get bored of me. Thanks, Marie. It's coming along quite nicely, isn't it? Cute on air sign. Oh, sorry, I thought you meant like in the sky. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I got it for Christmas. Nice little addition to the setup. Let's darken up some of these a bit more in here. This is the one thing that in the designs I've already done this week is practicing adding in some darker tones. Just being a bit braver with the darker tones and just dropping them where we can. See how they come out. You know, maybe some. Although it's the light section, you can get away with adding like a little bit here and there on the back of some of these fluffy bits. I hate to say it, I've been actually putting this off a little bit, but this style, the concept of a cloud is very similar to the concept of a mountain. Unsub, I don't care. We've got to get these mountains right. We've got to get these mountains right. We've got to get these clouds right. You're not going to put the time in. You can leave. You can leave. too late. So Jay, sorry, let me catch back up on chat. So Jay, you mentioned there about when it's sky you don't use that much detail. It's all about, I've learned, it's all about building it up. Quite literally, like, build up everything. I mean, did you see where I started? Oh, I can't show. You know, you start off with very basic shapes, then layer on some extra highlight to fluff out the clouds, and then now you go in and add some shadows, some but they're still quite vague shadows. I've not gone in too hard yet with the finer colours just yet. Just trying to add in some darker tones, and it's also about understanding, to be honest with you, sort of, this sounds like the stupidest thing to say, but understanding what clouds most of the time look like, you know, the underside of them, and where the colour actually sits, because that's something I've realised I've got to try and do more, is, you know, take a look at things and work out, you know, just obvious observations, you know, where's the colour, where's the darker bits, where's the lighter bits. So that's just one thing to bear in mind. Daniel, I stick to the old reliable Toy Story wallpaper clouds, the little fluffy 3 cotton balls, I call them. Thanks for Farrick. Yeah, it's good to add the darker. It makes it look a lot more 3D and adds a lot more depth into it. And you also have to bear in mind where your light source is. So some shadows will be here, but there'll be much darker shadows here because we've got such a darker amount of sky over here. So I can really just like drop that color in and get a bit forceful with dropping it in. I'm sure I like this music. It was meant to be lo-fi. That doesn't sound like lo-fi to me. That's better. Mountains. That's a bad road in this place. Yeah, I know. Mic drop. Again, I hate to say it, but they're very close to mountains. Very close. I was close with the pronunciation. It's Farouk. Is that better? Did I nail it? Farouk. Let's take a look. Maybe I could just add a tiny bit in here. Just to add a bit more. Okay, that's fine. I think that's looking good. Okay, cool. And then we're now going to move into adding. Nailed it. Maybe I'll add in some extra tones. Maybe add in a little bit of blue here and there. Maybe. Does that look right? Are we going for a blue look to it? No. Anything I think I want to add is maybe some like brighter, darker orange colour. Brighter, darker? Some punchier, really, to be honest with you. Some punchier orange bits. Just to add in some extra colour on the clouds. These much fairer ones over here don't need any. Nope, don't like that either. That's fine. Don't have to do it. We'll move on. Let's move on. So we used this colour. Let's move to the second highlight. So I've added 2 highlights in the palette, so you can try and refine your highlights even more right at the very end. Ilingreb, how you doing? Thanks for dropping in. Make it punchy. Oh, guys, before you go anywhere else, please drop a like down below. That will help me out a bunch. This is not lo-fi. Hang on, let's boot up the old Spotify. need to reassign those keys. And he had an album. Is it this one? Yeah, that's pretty good. I like that. I'm very good, Ilan Greb. I'm very good, thank you. Why should I like? Listen, you're in a mood with Julie, not me. Okay, now we move into the stage of fine highlights. So it's the same brush, just dropped it right down to about 2 or 1% in that sort of space. And then we've got 2 sets of colors. And now we just kind of do the same thing, but on a smaller scale. So we go backwards and forwards. You can see there, this brush, I think it's got some stabilization on it. Yeah, it does. Max and 37%. Meaning that when you go, you can see when I go backwards and forwards on myself, sometimes even though I've gone all the way to here, it's trying its best to constantly stable out the line. So you just go backwards and forwards down this edge, and then you can just paint in some nice bright tones, and it creates the strong highlight. See, that's what we did there. But we're zooming right in, getting pretty fine with the detail now. So I do this first. This is like to sort of plot in the color, and then I always like it when they sort of tail off, so they run off into like a nice flat bit. That looks nice. That's come along already. And then the cool thing to do is also in the space here, although you've done it on the edge, there still would be highlights here, so you can just introduce some just rounded fluff on the side here. That's just a nice little extra detail. I'm in your bad books. Did I hear you talking about mountains? I did. I was basically explaining that the clouds are essentially the same as doing a mountain. And I said, if you're not here to learn and you're not here to draw mountains, get out. Leave. I missed the clouds. What did you miss? I'm not finished with the clouds yet. Oh, right. And then let's just introduce some more little random bits of fluff. So this is where we just constantly keep adding little extra details. And this is the bit that takes the longest. But you always want to just build, what do I say? Build up the color. Just build up them colors every time. Start lightly, paint it in, and then go down here, letting the pen do the work. That's it. That's all it is. Did you see how quick and random that was? Like, I really don't want people to see this and think I can't do it. I'm not saying it's like Picasso. I'm just saying, like, I know that this could be, like, I mean, sometimes I look at James Julia's designs and I'm like, hang on, I need to be better prepared, you know? Every time I see it, I'm like, I can't do that. Like, that's way too skillful. But in reality, once you break down the process, it's quite easy to understand if, you know, how it works. So Johnny Owen, it's normal to draw something and then delete it straight after asking for a friend. Absolutely. Absolutely. I actually left quite a bit of it in the latest Patreon tutorial. You know, just drawing stuff and just, nope, don't like that one, redo it. And just constantly redo it. If you mean a whole design, then I don't know. But yeah, definitely just draw something, part of the design, and then just undo it straight away. I had a nightmare with the mountains. Cat, it will be that easy. Trust me, pal. I got you. What's up, Kim? How you doing? A new patron? Oh, no, not new patron. A new super patron. I think it's because I have a hard time mastering it. Hey, you got it. I'll give you the tutorial that will nail it. What's up, Vincent? Dang, I joined a little late and I missed everything. Those clouds were dope. Thanks, dude. There's a whole process here. You can see, like, that cloud here now, the one I was just working on, to this one. Just look at that. All that is just colour, just constantly layered on top of each other. And then when you add those fine details, that's when it pops. So guys, if you're here and you're not part of my Discord, come and join in with the doodle challenge this week. I think there's a link in the description down below. You can come and join us on Discord. Come and join the guys and girls. Look at this, just backwards and forwards. I'm surprised the camera's not shaking. It's backwards and forwards. Let that just run out at the bottom. That's that bit done, and then you go in and then you just refine the edge. Maybe I go a bit harder with the pressure and just fluff up that edge a bit more. A little bit here too. We've got to bear in mind that in like certain areas where it's really bright already, you don't want to press super hard just to create some highlights. We're in a lighter area of the design, so you can't add too much highlight on top of highlight, basically. Let's introduce some more random lines here. You can always use these bits here, so you can see this bit here right on the tip of my pen is a lot brighter than the rest because there's more colour, so you can just use that. You can just go backwards and forwards on that and then just fluff it out. You can just add a little bit on this little bit here as well. Use your random line where they added before, and that'll all come together quite nicely. See the difference between these two, like this one's in a brighter area of the design, so you can see like the colours of my highlights that I just added are a lot closer to the colours of the actual cloud, whereas over here those highlight colours, they pop. Let the pencil do the work, baby. Just let that pencil do that work. That's all it is. And then certain clouds, you don't have to do anything to. Like this one here, potentially, it's nice and soft. It's a bit faint. Maybe we don't add anything to it, or maybe we just add the tiniest little bit. Emphasize that edge a little bit. And then that's all we maybe want to do to that one. Maybe we just leave the rest. I don't know that I can manage to do that, but I'll try. Cat, me and you, we can do this. We could do this. No, listen, none of this. I can't do it. You can do it. I'll give you everything you need. All you gotta do is trust me. Do you trust me? I don't know what that came up. Julie, have you blocked Kirsty? Because Kirsty can't see your messages. By the way, for anyone that doesn't know, Kirsty and Julie are actually friends. It's like this, like there's so much sexual tension. It's just madness. I just keep being horrible to each other all the time. Ooh, they're looking a bit nasty. This is the longest bit of the tutorial, by the way. Once you add all those other bits in, this isn't even the final step. There's a step on top of this, the final last bit of refinement. So this is like, you have sky streaks, basic shapes, fill out the shapes a little bit more, build your highlights, build your shadows, refine your highlights, and then further refine your highlights, and then we're trust me. Joel, I love Julie. She's the one that's being mean, and she blocks me. I haven't even blocked enough. I haven't. Oh God. Julie says, I can see Kirsty's messages, and the tension isn't between Kirsty and I. Speedy, I promise you, you'll be able to do this. I promise you. This is my job. I'm your middleman, but from whatever you want to do, you tell me, we get it done. We get that done. I'm so used to using the soft brush for clouds because I watch James. Yeah, I know James likes it a lot. I try. Okay, I tell you what, I did try it. The only thing I didn't like about it was, depends on which version of the brush you use, obviously. But for me, the way it doesn't layer on top how I want it to layer on top. And two, I didn't like the way it was rounded and all the ones that were slightly softer. Because in my mind, or in my eye, like looking at it, it didn't look sharp enough. It just didn't look sharp enough. This Kirsty chick. Always at me. Always at me. This can't be all of his work. Please don't play. Oh, it's here. Wait, hang on. Nice, good playlist, good playlist. Vincent, I'm definitely joining the Discord. What kind of bonsai you got there? I need to let you in on a little secret. I need to just let you in on a little secret. Cut the music. This bonsai. It's plastic. Not even real. Not even real. It's all been a lie. It's all been a lie. It's a lie. Guess what? This plant, it's a lie. It's a lie. This grass, not even alive. Oh, Elizabeth's here as well. I missed that. How you doing, Elizabeth? Long time no see. Right, enough about the foliage. Let's get these clouds done. And Vincent, it'd be good to see you over on Discord, my friend. Come and join in with everybody in the doodle challenges. Just come and just join in, share your designs. I'm not particular that it has to be my tutorials. It can be whatever you're working on. It could be anybody's design. Anybody you like. Let's add in some random bits again. Got to be bold and confident sometimes, just dropping these in. Yeah, the dogs are fake as well. Yes, Kirsty, they are IKEA specials from the green department. Can't keep plants alive. I've not even tried. This room has no windows down here in my little studio. My little studio. Just about managed with the kids. Kirsty. Jesus. Give me a break. Right, these ones here, they're nice and faint. We'll just add little bits onto these one. This one even. Just a little bit behind there. Although maybe we could actually punch this bit here and then just let that run into the shadows. Now this one here, because it's really close to us, I can get away with adding a lot of highlight, but it's got to be done right. I want this one to trail all the way down into like here. One whole piece. Right, okay. It looks odd right now because it's on its own. Bigger ones are a bit tricky. You've got to add so much more colour. That's fine, that's fine. I think. That's actually not that bad unless I just add in another little runoff here maybe. Maybe a little something like that. That's a bit better. A little bit better. What's up, Devin? Long time no see. Hope you had a good New Year, my friend. You can tell him now. You can tell him, Kirsty. He must be feeling guilty now. What, is she like just doing something completely different? He better be feeling guilty. One for not doing a draw along saying after he would last week and 2 calling me out on it. Nah. What's the joke then? Are you like not even like? Have you not even got your iPad, or have you sold it or something? Is that the joke? You're making a fool out of me? This big cloud down here, I don't know why I'm struggling with it a little bit. I mean, I need to increase my brush size and just drop the colour in a lot more. No, it's all good, it's all good, it's all good. I just need to block in a lot more colour in certain areas. That's better. Very lightly just get rid of that shadow. It's a bit too dark in there. In the wrong spot as well, really. That's looking a lot better. The bigger brush is what we needed. If we don't give him a hard time, who will? That is true. That is true. This live would be so boring. Thank you. Can you tell? Right, there's a lady in chat called Kirsty. Can you just tell her that, please? Elizabeth, I'm gonna say it. I haven't said it yet. It's a way Kirsty just went. Please don't. I don't know what like character I can hear in my mind, and they're like, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. She did it. I'm not gonna do it. Oh, it's a TikTok, isn't it? I'm not gonna do it. I was just thinking about it. I did it. Okay, it's actually come along quite nicely. The only thing I hate about this style is when you zoom in, it looks rubbish. Joe, you shouldn't change your voice when you're reading our messages. Do I? Maybe it's like my presenter voice that I put on. But yeah, little Red Bull. Finally. I feel like I haven't had one of these in ages. Oh, so good. Sweet, sweet nectar, that. What did Devon say? I got a new job as a salesman at Cadillac dealership, and that's why I've been gone. Oh, well, I can't say that C word, but I wish you all the best, my friend. If you say it, just YouTube don't like it. The second they hear it in a video, it's not good for your video. It can be put down. I second what Kate said. Kate says. Couldn't help it, you haven't been on in ages. I missed the face reveal and everything. Wait, you haven't seen my face yet? It's all good, Kirsty, don't worry about it. It's all funny. Oh, you want me to put a voice on? But like give you all like different accents and everything. Yeah, drawing clouds is an illusion type thing. What do you mean? I think I'm happy with the majority of these. Like that, those highlights all came along quite well. And then you can use your brush and go very lightly and just add in some lighter tones right next to your very refined edges. So I can very lightly just go over here and just start to brighten up some of these edges with much lighter areas. No, not accents needed. Just a pitch or something. I mean that, or I could just be like, Cat says. No, not accents, just a pitch or something. You did miss it. Wow, you've been gone for ages then, Elizabeth. We such a stupid night that was. The story of my face reveal was that it was like 11:45 here. I was just about to get off, and Melissa, one of our patrons, who's followed me for a long time, like right from the beginning, she knew who I was in terms of back when I first started doing Joel Create stuff, before it became Joel Create, I'd post my own videos in these Facebook groups and be like, oh, I just followed this tutorial, you should go and check it out. And it was like my first like 5 basically. I would continue to do that, and but I was posting it as myself, not as Joel Create. So she obviously saw that a long time ago and just put 2 and 2 together. And then like at 11:45 at night, I'm just about to get off and she just slaps a screenshot of my Facebook into the Discord, and that was it. It all gone up. I didn't fight it, couldn't be bothered, and that was it. It was all for the greater good. How do you know she's not like my marketing manager or something? Yeah. We just did it all for marketing purposes, eh? How is the ice hockey going, Kat? Have you scored any more? Melissa for president. I wonder how long I would have held on to it for. Like, how long would I have tried to not expose myself? Not what? Jesus. I mean, as in, like, how long would I have tried to hold on to that? Too long. That's the first time I ever swore on stream as well. What just happened? Yeah, that's only on the OnlyFans. Which, disclaimer, doesn't exist. Don't search for it. I am 100% joking. This is actually a funny conversation because I've actually had this conversation with Miss Create, and we had this conversation, and we were speaking about it a few times. We were just saying, she was like, "Wow, listen, if there's an appetite for it, you go get it. You chase that money. You do what you gotta do." And I was like, "You serious?" She's like, "Listen, if they want it, they want it. If you," I was like, "Jesus Christ." Okay. Start off with a few feet pics or something. Build up to it. If I start to see my numbers go like this on Patreon, so like they just go this way, this is the OnlyFans. And I know none of you were here for art. You've all been lying to me the whole time. Oh, that's funny. I have missed it. A new job sorted. Became big. Sorry. I missed it. My new job sort of became a big part of my life. New changes and new challenges. So I wasn't on YouTube very much for the longest time. Well, I'm glad you got some new challenges. Is it a good thing or a bad thing? It's taken over most of your time in your world. Julie will give you her firstborn and all future earnings for OnlyFans. I take 25% of all your future paychecks. That's quite a good deal for me. Yeah, but what if Julie's firstborn is actually mine? Hey. Just saying. Oh yeah, we're meant to be drawing, aren't we? Right, so enough chatter about future business propositions and ideas. Let's crack on with this. Let's be real. Let's just be real for 2 seconds. If you guys knew I had an OnlyFans, you guys would be like, "What the hell are you doing?" Imagine. I've always thought about this as well. Like when, like if Patreon ever shut down and I was like, "Oh, I need to go," I need to move to a new platform to do exactly the same stuff. Like, how weird would it to be to say, yeah, I'm on OnlyFans. I don't get my, my wadger out. I just draw. I just draw pictures on OnlyFans. Like, they'd be like, "What are you doing? No nudity? Are you for real?" Refund. Create a mini cloud here. Right, anyway. Right, so down here, all the zigzags here you can see, just need refining. Smoothing out some of these edges, rounding them off a little bit more. They can be jumpy and jaggedy, but you've got to make them rounded at the same time in most of the places. Hang on, I'll catch up with chat in 2 secs. Right, we need to get down to 1% and really refine these edges now. You're still daddy though, Joel. Clouds, exactly. Should be known as a bad person. I'm nearly 30. I'm not 16. What's up, Abdullah? Thanks for becoming a sub over on YouTube if you are here. Like being this is what Kirsty says. I wouldn't join your OnlyFans. Would be repeatedly disappointed, like being proposed a draw along. Jesus. Todger's like, UK, like, I guess not. It's not slang as such. It's just like a UK word for a male. You can work the rest out. Chris, I came back in here in OnlyFans. What did I miss? I was just working out my business plan for my OnlyFans, Chris. That's all. Just working out how much we're going to charge. You know, how much you guys are willing to pay, and we'll just get it started, Chris. You can join right now if you want. You can. I'm using the flat brush, Claire. So under painting, it's the flat brush. Right, now I'm going to go in and refine all these edges. So now really you can see the difference now in those highlights. These are like the brightest ones now. We actually are going to continue drawing for a sec. Just flush out. And then this is the longest. This is the longest part of this entire thing. Going back in, creating your really, really strong highlights. And every time you can see like the highlight color started off as the entire shape. Then it just ended up on the right side of this cloud. Then it was you can see the tones. You started off with this tone, then this tone, then this one, and now this one on the end. Then when you zoom out, that cloud there is completely done. You can see how all the tones just lovingly work together. They look nice. Art with Roger the Todger. There we go. Nice. I think you don't have to add it to every single edge. Like I probably wouldn't add it to these smaller ones here, but these ones here I would do, and just refine those edges, creating random movements the whole time, just trying to create random bits of color. You can also refine your shapes, add more color in if you need to. By the way, this live stream is just me trying to like rehearse this as a tutorial. I really want to use this palette. I think it looks the best out of the ones I've been using. So yeah, just bear that in mind. I'll probably just watch this back myself and understand the whole process. Where have you people been all my life? First Discord Harry Potter magic happens, then this. I haven't laughed like this in a long time. That's just what we do here, Petal. This is what we do. What's up, Amson? How you doing? Hey, I just did a TikTok doing the Lumos with my Snape wand. What, with your lights? I bet that could actually do pretty well, you know, because loads of people would comment on it, asking, "Wait, how did you do that? How did you do that?" And then that's 1 million views right there. That's 1 million views. Like there, that's all you just need to add in, just a tiny bit. So when you zoom out, you get just enough color on that. And now we've got to go through all of these clouds one more time. Last step, really. And then mentally, there's a step after this where you can just erase most of it. That'll make more sense in a bit. How long have I been live for? An hour, but I've been yabbering. So I think this tutorial is potentially on Patreon going to be the longest one. Easy gonna be the longest one. The longest one I think to date is the city one, but this one has such a different process. Luckily there's no like layers to be created like crazy or anything. It's just adding all this colour on top and just drawing, painting it in. Quite looking forward to doing this one though. I think this will probably, just to give you sort of a vague idea, probably going to be the first exclusive in February. I would imagine. Hey Kim, that video could go. You only need a few people to see it, and that's it. It don't matter how many followers you got or anything like that. My first video, how many views did that have? That went crazy. I say this every time, but if you don't already know, I got so lucky on TikTok. Like my with my videos. Like my first one did pretty good. I think it was my second. I think it was my second one. I need to change those keybinds big time. Second video. So the first one got 10k, and then the second video got 1.3 mil on TikTok, and then boom, it just went nuts. I think we are all Harry Potter fans here. No, I am 100%. Mrs. Create has the Deathly Hallows tattoo on the back of her arm, just right there. We've watched them over and over. Oh, who's watched the reunion? Please tell me you've all watched the reunion on. I think you can get it on Now TV in the UK. I don't know what it'll be on over in the States, but the reunion was really good. I really enjoyed watching that. I showed my daughter the Whisper video on Discord and told her I'm going to do this every time. Kirsty, yes, you can go to the bathroom. I told you you don't have to ask. I followed pretty much Amos Amson. I followed pretty much almost every one of your tutorials. I appreciate you doing that. I hope you've enjoyed them. Hope you've learned a lot. Do you remember back the day before Joel had 100 patrons and you asked for a draw along? Oh my god. I thought you were going to be really... I thought we were going to get a bit like nostalgic or something, even though it's not been that long. And then you just go and do that. Day before Joel had 100 patrons, you'd asked for a draw along and it happened. And then now he has 200 plus patrons and he's forgotten us. My point is he's too big for us now. Cough. Jesus, come on, give me a break. He hasn't forgotten about us, Kirsty. We just aren't important anymore. He will never be able to forget us. You are all important. Celia, how you doing? HBO Max, that's what's on. It was so good. Really enjoyed it. Right, I'm trying to work. Sorry, I can't talk right now. I'm at work. Refine these edges. I don't know if December is normally like this. It's obviously very hard for me to tell because, you know, I've not been doing the whole thing very long at all. But Patreon in December did unreal, like crazy. The whole month it just flew. But January it's been a bit slow, and lots of people leaving. I guess maybe it's, I don't know. January's tough, isn't it? A tough month, so save some pennies where possible. But yeah, it's hard to know. It's hard to tell. I'm trying to think, second guess myself. Am I doing something wrong? Kirsty, don't even answer that question. But you know, just contemplating, well, without having like any experience to go back on. Like, I guess people like maybe like Flow and stuff who've been doing it for a while, like maybe know from data that, you know, January's a bit of a slow month. I don't know. Like, I thought that Harry Potter one, like, growth-wise, would do really, really well, but it didn't do as well as I thought it would be. All Adventures of Cooper and the City one and Neon Triangle Planet Santa. Oh, and in their circle, you've nailed them all. Nailed them all, Amson. I bit my tooth then. You couldn't forget about us, even with therapy. That is true. That is true. I'm trying to create another drawing with Cooper, but my own design. Hope it's okay. Hey, you do you. You do you. Kirsty, yeah, people are probably leaving because you... It's another wonderful day to be alive. I can't tell you how much I wish this had a shot of alcohol in it. A little bit of vodka now with you. What's up, Jason? How you doing? Thanks for dropping in. What has been your biggest views video, Joel? I can show you the tutorial real quick. Let's go to... You probably saw that anyway. Okay, I'm going to tell you a little story about this one. Okay. This is my most popular viewed tutorial on YouTube. And it winds me up every time. And I'll tell you why it winds me up. So annoying. Just thinking about it. This tutorial has had, it's my highest viewed video at like 15,000 views or something like that. And this tutorial, I did not plan. I did not do anything for it. Nothing. All I did was freestyle it on the video and made it sound like I knew what I was doing. So like, it winds me up because I put so much time into practicing all these other designs. I'm drawing clouds every day, multiple times a day now, just to get this right. And like the time and prep. This one, I'd done them so many times that I just went, I've got nothing planned. Let's do it. And I just made it sound like every step afterwards was planned ahead. Like, oh, and now we'll do this, and now we'll do this, now we'll do this. And it's the best viewed video on my channel. Morpheus, I love all your tutorials. Most of my art is done traditionally, but I work hard on digital. Oh, cool. Make sure you tag us in any if you do them. Jason, Joel, a little challenge. Can you draw 3 Spider-Mans? I did think about doing a Spider-Man tutorial recently. The only problem is I feel like I missed the hype on it. So I'm kind of past it a little bit, but maybe I could still do it. Just want to do the face. And I'm not 3 of them, but just want to do you could maybe do 3. You could maybe like arrange them in a certain way if I did 1. But yeah, I've thought about doing it. And Cassie, well, considering you have a few kids and he has miscarried, I think that promise will be broke. I do want to do a Marvel tutorial. We've done Potter. I want to try and do a few things that run with themes of things. Haven't I done somewhere else that is themed by something? Pokemon. I swear I've done something else that's themed by something. There's Pokemon. I guess Halloween, maybe Lion King slightly. I guess not. Infinity Gauntlet would be pretty sick. We could do like a really brushed metal. Metal. See, I just did it again. Crushed metal. Okay, let's get back to this. 2 secs. Where was I? Here. Because I want to show you just like the options that you could do when you finish it. I will do it in the prototype. Why do I keep saying prototype? I feel like I'm at work. In the tutorial as per the design, but we'll see some different variations on how you can maybe make it your own. Yeah, I like the idea of a gauntlet. That would be pretty sick. That's one thing I wish I was full-time for doing this, because then I could, you know, something comes out, there's something that gets a lot of social traction in a sense. I would have the time to go, right, let's go straight down like into the studio and draw exactly for that style and that height, and just, you know, the Spider-Man one could have been done perfectly timed to the film. No spoilers here, but I've already seen it, so don't worry about me, but for other people. So these ones over here, I actually did them pretty light in terms of colour, in terms of the amount of colour, pressed quite firm, and added quite a bit on those ones. Okay, that's actually come along like so well. Loki, that's a pretty good idea. I think that's what I need to do a little bit more of, is a little bit of your naturalness shone through. What did I miss there? What's this in? Oh yeah, I think like Marvel is something I need to jump on a lot more. Like get a lot more tutorials based on that stuff, because so many people, I mean I do, I love it. I love it. I mean, if I actually just very quickly rotate the camera that way, oh shit, there is my there's some pops up there which are all Marvel themed, and that's actually an Endgame poster on the wall. Venom, yeah, it's a good idea. Haunter. I did Gengar. That was it, I did Gengar. Sorry, I forgot to. That was just a natural slip of the tongue there. Okay. L. What's the L for? Oh, you missed an L on the end of my name. I thought you were giving me an L then. I was like, Jesus, savage. Endgame is the best movie ever made. I don't actually give a what anyone else has to say. That film is so good. It's the only film I ever went back and watched again in the cinema twice. Like, I've watched it. I don't even know how many times. If you are a fan of Marvel and you have made your way through 20 odd films to that point, and the things in that film, Avengers Endgame, the things in that film, I mean, you should have seen it by now. It's been out for ages. when Cap lifts the Milner, yes, it's just perfect. It's just so good. When he lifts that up, like, there's all the bits in the film are so good. On your left, and I mean that scene where everybody comes through, like, okay, let's get right to the point though. Right at the end with Iron Man, I'm a pretty like sometimes I can be a bit emotionless, but that ending gets me every time. And with the way Tom Holland just, you know, his role right at the end with Tony is just so good. Goosebumps every time. So good. I might have to end the stream. We're gonna have to go watch it. It's so good. Oh, I can't listen. Why? What's happened? You don't like it? Oh, what do you mean you can't listen? You can't listen to the film? Oh, OD. Oh, everybody jumped up. Yeah, it's nuts. Claire, have you not seen it? I've not. I tried to avoid specific details, but well, actually, no, I didn't on 2 occasions. But the rest of the film, it's fine. It's fine. You can work out. Have you not seen it, or you don't want to see it, or you're not interested? If Claire's watching, that's it. I won't say anything else. Claire, just let me know if you haven't seen it, or you have seen, or you're yet to see it, or you're not interested. One of them. It has been 2 years. That is true. But some people are still making their way through the whole thing. Like some of my friends are, and I wanna just clout them because they haven't done it sooner. Just want to add in some like what looks like distant clouds over here, but not too many. Just enough. No, I don't like that. Again, we will not. Claire, you have to mute for just 2 minutes. I'm not going to give any specific details away. I'm aware of your current stat about a different film. About a different film. Am I allowed to talk about Spider-Man? The new Spider-Man? I'm not going to give specifics away. Well, actually, I'll tell you what. I can actually say it and it will not affect it in any way. That film, I'll say it in a way that doesn't affect it in any way. That film is the first film I have ever sat in the cinema it's the first film that I've ever had to hold myself back from shouting into the cinema. That's the first film I've ever, like, I wanted to shout and scream. Like, I've never felt like that before. That's how good it is. Like, and I didn't do that for Endgame. That's enough. That's all I'll say. Let's drop some stars in sky and let's move on. I think these stars right in the distance are the ones. These to me really make this style. I don't know why, it just looks so good to me, but it does. I think that it's because, I don't know, maybe it just ties it all in. Like, you've got a full nice transition from daytime to nighttime with those stars in the sky. What's up, Siska? How you doing? Oh, none of you have really seen it yet. Okay, fair enough. Not scream like as in like like a fangirl or something, just be like cheer in like happiness for what was happening on the screen. Like there's moments you just got to see it. You just got to see it. I don't want to say anything. I have never my TikTok every time I learned the quick bang, get rid of it. The second I had any hint, bang, gone. And I actually saw no spoilers at all. So Chris shouted as well. Right, enough. We've got to move on. But Claire, you have one thing to do before you next come into the stream, and it's watch Infinity War Endgame. That's your mission. Don't do any of my tutorials. Forget about me. Forget about all of us. Just go and do it. We'll see you next week. Or the week after. Whenever you get it done. Okay. And then grab this dark colour on its own, and then we can create whatever little landscape we want in the front. So you can do the grass like I did in the other one. You can do like a little hillside or something. Last time I did the guy stood with like a good, Claire, very good. You could do the grass in front. Jesus. Could even do, let's see if we've got I do have like a city's skyline stamp set. You could do a city skyline in front of it. We could grab something like, the perspective's got to be right, so we might have to adjust them. I'm just trying to find one that looks like it might do okay. That's quite a hefty city block. See, the only problem with that is, to me, that those clouds look far too big. Like the city would have to be like this, if not even bigger. But what did I do? Rest in peace, headphone users. What's the matter, Kirsty? What did I do? Oh, the cough. Sorry, the cough. That cityscape could look right. Not that big. Actually doesn't look that bad at all if you scaled that up. You'd have to make it like really, really big for that to look okay, and get rid of all of the stuff in here. But I don't think I like it. I like the close-up of the city. The cities look okay. To me personally, the clouds just look too big for the city. So I would probably maybe just do the grass again. There's loads of things we could try. We could do a mountain. You could do a palm tree. Palm tree might look pretty cool. What's up, Ian? How you doing? Thanks for dropping in. Needs a Zelda look. That's not a bad idea. Oh, Kirsty, right, peeps, I'm out. Hope you have a nice evening/week. I hope you have a lovely week yourself, Kirsty. Thanks for dropping in. I appreciate you being here, and good to see you again. So what you could do, right? You could just place these palm trees where you want them, like there, and then we've got all this space underneath to reflect those in the water. So you could turn off the palm tree, swipe with 3 fingers and copy all, swipe with 3 fingers and paste, paste, flip it vertically. Oh, actually, let's turn that off for a second. Let's draw in where our water would be. Where would our water sit? I guess that's a palm tree gel. Let's do select rectangle color fill. I don't think that's high enough. I think the water level's got to be maybe even higher than that. I think it's got to be like that, maybe. What's up, Sissy? How you doing? Good to see you in here. Oh, Claire's off as well. I've got to go do my chores so I can watch the film tomorrow now. It's good to see you. I hope you enjoy the film. That's a palm tree, Joel. What did I say? I know it's a palm tree. Oh, right. Sometimes I just need to read it and then think, what does that mean? And be like, oh yeah, I said that. Map it. And then you could either cheat and go straight to motion blur, go left to right, give you a bit of a blur, really blur it out. You could blur it out a lot. Maybe grab the smudge tool. Yeah, dry brush. Oh, smudge. Push that side to side and just add in some waves. Something like that. I don't particularly like how that comes out. I wouldn't do the motion blur. I think I would just go straight to the dry brush. So go straight in here and then just smudge that all out. So you could end up with a lot more of the shape of the clouds. As long as you disperse it enough. Ooh la la. Ooh la la. Something like that. Create like a little landscape here. I quite like that. So the only thing I don't like about it is I don't like the way that the palm tree in front. Maybe it's just this specific one. Is the shape of it is very solid. It looks good, but to be honest with you, in the palm tree collection, there's ones that are slightly more detailed and a bit fainter, and I would probably prefer that simply to sort of stick with the level of detail in a way. So if we increase that up, oh, I've done it on the wrong layer. So let's just grab that, scale that up, basically position it where it was. We can attach this onto the ground in a minute. Maybe like here. See, right now on your screen, well, maybe viewing this stream, that looks a bit like jaggedy. It doesn't look like that, really. And then just link up the ground here in front. What the? I would argue that that maybe looks a little better. Maybe duplicate it a few times just to darken it up. Maybe that was it. I don't know. That's something you could do. That's something you could do. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Sissy. Appreciate that. So, to be honest with you, I think the next time I come to do this as a tutorial, it would look a bit closer to this one with regards to... I like the grass at the front. I think that looks better. Oh, I'll tell you what, we missed a step on the last one. So the last one, they're all pointing downwards. Second palm tree look awesome. Nice, nice. Let's turn that off for a minute. Let's also maybe turn the water off, because there's a step I missed. What I quite like to do is warp the sky. So we duplicate that and turn one off for a minute. Grab the cursor, then we grab the warp tool, and we want to create, like, you can see my lines here. They're very much, if I rotate my canvas, they're very much like horizontal. You know, these lines in my clouds are very horizontal. And then what we could do then is we want to try and warp these to like create more of a curvature. So like you push them up like that, and then you round these ones off a little bit, and then you just create more movement, and I think it looks a bit more dramatic. Now, it doesn't have to be as steep as that. You can curve it how you want. It just makes it look more dramatic. Just warping that corner out. Do you see what I mean? And you can just manipulate that how you want it. Little bits here and there. You will lose a little bit. You can maybe even bring it all the way in, so the you know, the clouds actually run out in the design. But I quite like it when they run off the edge. So that makes it look more dramatic, more movement in it. The other thing you can do, which I'm debating whether or not I do, and I'm kind of like using you as guinea pigs in a sense here, just working out what you do and do not like the most. In my opinion, I believe the clouds are the highlight, and first palm tree kind of block that. That is true, Chris. That is true. You can add a mask to this. Switch to the flat brush again. And then follow your motion of your lines and quite literally just start erasing bits out, darkening up certain bits like here. Just go backwards and forwards, eliminate some of the brightest parts you've done, focus the attention certain areas, and just streak through it. That is something you can do. It really takes a lot of the color out. You can reduce it right down if you really want to. So that's another step. So let me just show you the difference. I don't particularly like that. I would darken up there. I'd maybe darken up in here. Like these ones here that run off right to the edge, I would maybe darken them up. Maybe run some more down here through the bottom of this cloud. That's just an idea. Okay, so just to like feather it out a little bit. And then the difference is that to that. And at first when you add the mask, well, before you add the mask, you kind of like, no, this is it, this is how it should be. But when you add it and you start erasing bits of it, in my opinion, you actually think it looks better when you flick between the two. This looks too bright potentially, and then when you flick it to there, you lose a little bit and it just becomes a little bit softer. But it's optional. The warp itself, I don't like how it came out, so I would probably delete that and then do that again. Because you want to make sure that this has like a nice actual curvature to it. So if I like bring that up, and then this one, create that curve there and then stretch it out. So this is like a nice curve here. That looks better. A bit more dramatic. It's just a concept, Joel. Don't spend too much time on it. Right, okay, so then we copy all of that. We can go back. We can turn this on. Paste in a new one. Flip it vertically. Compress it down. Let's clip it. Let's compress it down. Introduce some of the bottom colors there to create a gap in your horizon. That is good. Grab the brush. I mean, that's if you're going to do water. That's something else. You don't have to do water. You can just smudge all that out left to right. Create some water there. I mean, that could easily be a beach. Oh, that actually could be a beach. Why do I do this? This tutorial about 6 hours long. To me, the way that they've just gone and flipped upside down, doesn't that look like water? That looks like the water on a sea making its way into like the beach. So like the ocean's out here, and then it's running onto the beach down here. Ah. Alright. Marie also likes the grass as well. That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, I wanted to gauge how you guys thought about it. Like, I'll show you the alternative then. Is the grass. So we create a new layer. We grab that brush at the top. I think it was fairly large. And that you just flick. And then when you've got enough coverage, you can just start to fill in the gaps at the bottom just to like give yourself like a grass level. So just filling in some of these gaps now just to thicken that out a little bit. It's just a basic idea. And then what you want to do is duplicate that layer, the bottom one, drop the opacity down to about 80%, so you get a slightly lighter version. And then again, just grab the cursor and the warp tool and just move that slightly off to the right, move that slightly off to the left, or even curve that way. And you create different blades of grass by using the same piece again. That's what I did the first time. To save a bit of time, basically. This one didn't quite come out as good as the other one in terms of the shape, but you get the basic idea. Blades of grass. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's just the same layer underneath the mask that makes it darker. What do you mean, sorry, Vincent? Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's just the same layer underneath the mask that makes it darker. Yeah, well, underneath the clipping layer, yeah. I think the opacity was dropped to about 80% or something. They look dreamy and fluffy, and the mask, I mean. The waves, because it was an accident. Sorry, I'm just looking at that, trying to work out how we can maybe make that actually purposeful. That needs a little bit of darkness, doesn't it? It's a happy accident, but it's a pain in the backside, because now I've realised I've got to try and replicate it, because I think it looks a lot better. Okay, question. Real quick question then. Do we prefer it with the grass? So ignore the grass that I did in this one. Do we prefer the grass like we did in this one here, which just gives you a little bit of nice summit in the front, a little bit of silhouette? Or do we prefer the reflection where it's been a complete accident, so it may not look like that? I can guarantee I'll do the tutorial. I'll get to this point here up here, and I'll go, right, Joel, here's option 1, and then here's option 2, and I'll just pick which one looks best, and that'll be the one that we stick with at the end. But which one do you prefer? Because my only concern with this one right here is there is no focus to it. It's just the sky. As in, if I popped if I pop this silhouette in here, it would have a purpose to it. So if I popped him like here and tried to make it look as if he was like at the beach or something, I don't know. You know, there's a something in it. There's a reason for it, if that makes sense. Could the grass go in front? The grass does bring the clouds into like correct proportion. What about grass and sea? So you got 3 options: grass, sea, grass and sea. So grass, sea, grass and sea. I love both. The beach is a dream. But I think it's maybe because I've never been to a beach. What? You've never been to a beach? Really? I was talking to this about, with a patron from my... obviously both people can then also use one or the other if they want. Deal. I like both as well, to be fair. My iPad's just gone to that warm mode again, hasn't it? I was talking to a patron about this. Her name's Hillary. And you've probably maybe seen it on my Instagram story every sort of Sunday morning. I meet up with my mum. We go for a wander and have a little walk. We'll have a coffee somewhere. She brings her dogs. Sometimes I take mine as well. But we just go for a wander. And it's always by the sea. Because I literally only live maybe like 5 minutes away, and like the sea for me like gives me an energy, like it recharges me. Like, I love it. There's a little spot near our harbour, well, on our harbour, right on the edge of it, right on the corner as it just goes out to sea. And I sit down there sometimes, and it's just like, it's the best. It's where it's my little special place. And it's actually what gets me most. I've been born in a country that has a beach, never been. Jeez, that's crazy. I couldn't imagine being away from the sea. Agreed, Joe. I just have to go and take a walk. Mrs. Create like gets into like this whole stuff about, I think it's like, I'm a Cancer and some sort of water baby or something. Like, no disrespect, everybody likes and does what they want, but she tells me it's all to do with that sort of stuff. I'm like, okay, fair enough. If it is, it is. This looks cool. Very cool. I'm very happy with that. Very, very happy. Okay, the only thing I wanted to draw next as well, and I'm very pleased with the growth of my clouds as well. I just need to keep going. Today's ones are big and white and fluffy, but they could do with being masked out a little bit. Marie, that is my goal. Maybe someday, imagine the photos I'll be snapping when I'm there and the colours. I saw a really cool TikTok of a guy who decided to draw his social media accounts, and he did them as, he's very talented, he's really good, but he did his in his style, and his little, he did them as like little towns and stuff. So like he drew like a map, and then drew his social media accounts as, you know, if one's larger than the other one, it's, you know, if it's not, maybe it's a town, maybe then it's a tiny village, or maybe it's a big city or something like that, you know, to symbolize how big it was. And I thought, well, how could I do that? And he revisited it a year later and then grew it. So, you know, how did they change? So I planned on doing that potentially as my second design. What is the time? 10:05. Oh, hang on. There's one thing I wanted to run by you guys actually is I plan on redoing this tutorial. Not that one. This tutorial. It's not a tutorial. Tell a lie. Jesus. Tell a lie. It's not a tutorial now. It's a very old design when you think about the time on it. But it's one of my first tutorials. Oh my god. It's one of my first designs. It's actually the second TikTok I ever made, and it blew up. We've got like 1 million views. So, oh, you like the wedding one? The wedding one, I kept the original photo in the background, and then they are just like layered on top of it. I don't know when this was drawn or how long ago. It must be a good. They created 2nd of January 21. I think the one in the photo in the background just helps it sort of stand out a little bit. Gives it a bit of filler content. Thank you, Cece. I like the colours of that one. So yeah, I want to try and do this one as a tutorial. I like this, well, that's not actually, I can't remember which one is the actual one I drew. Maybe it's this one. I don't think it is this one, but you get more of an idea for it. Like silhouette work. I think it would be quite a nice, easy one to do. Do you know what I really want to start doing as well is going back to tutorials, or just designs in general, and just try and redo them. Like a year later, what would I change? What have I learned? What would I change? Maybe I'll do that on stream one day. This is another wedding one. Did exactly the same thing. You see how look at this detail in these. Like, so if I zoom right in, you can see that it's just a few different tones with just a little bit of colour in the middle, like a little soft airbrush, and you zoom all the way out until it gets to there, and all the details are just there basically. So fine. Like in her dress as well, I couldn't really make out a lot of the details of it, so I just tried my best with what I had. The one bit I do like that I managed to pull off quite well is what would you call this? Is this like the shoulder material? It'd be very thin. It would be like quite see-through, but you can get an idea that it's slightly off compared to the arm, showing that there's material there, obviously. And them too as well. And the photo that they provided had a huge lens flare right there in the trees, which is why I also added the lens flare effect. Yeah, like a lace, like a tool. Is it tool? And so that was one for another. That was another commission. They're both commissions. Did them ages ago. You'll see some other commission work actually I've done. You've all seen the album cover I did recently, this one. That's pretty cool. So like in the arm, there's like, he wanted it in like tattoo, but it didn't really work out well. So it's like loads of just good saying, you can do it, anything is possible, you're wonderful. These are crazy. I mean, some of these you can see all the different levels of like how it built up. This one was an album cover as well for another guy. He like stood in water making his way towards some sort of city, but he wanted his name in the corner rather than a planet. I had a planet, but oh yeah, Kate, let me show you. Kate in the chat there, I did. It was like one of my very first ones. Wait, where's that? It's in here. Oh yeah, there it is. Where is it? There it is. So that was a commission as well. And the original photo just had Kate and her partner here, and nothing here. So we had to like improvise and then add the cats in and draw them in. That was like one of my very first ones. That came out quite nice. This is always a fun one if you ever want to try and do that sort of style for somebody. It's just wrapping a banner around the bottom. It gives you a nice way of just cutting everything off. And then as long as you sort of create some sort of like motion to focus people in and keep it wrapped in. If I sort of bent them the other way, it would just completely take away from the center of the design. Oh, this is so the same couple that I showed you a second ago for their little wedding photo did a little Spotify cover for them as well. So their I think it was their first dance song, and took obviously the drawing, made it a PNG, put a little drop shadow in there, and just cropped it to this. Took a screenshot of Spotify, what it looks like on here, and then I think I had to edit a few bits. I can't remember what I had to change at the time, but essentially just draw a box over the album cover that's already there and then just do what you want with it. So that's something you could always do if you wanted to make some good commission work. They're always very popular. This dog was without swearing, was a nightmare. Like if we zoom in on all the different strands of hair, and the problem with this style, right, is you have to, like, I'm just going to move around as we go. You can see all the different colors. You have to layer it correctly. You have to start at your widest point, so out here, and then make your way on top, and then so you go on top of it, and then you make your way inside all the way through to the center. You get through to the dog's face in the middle. You can do simple minimalistic styles for illustrations, if that's something you want to do. That's another commission where it's meant to look quite, what's the word I'm looking for? Obviously minimalistic, but there's something I'm missing, it's just not on my tongue. But yeah, it's just another style. If you're like, to be honest with you, I don't do them much anymore like that, because I struggle with doing faces a lot of the time. It's a skill that, just like doing the clouds, you just need to keep doing it and doing it and doing it and doing it until you can master it. This is, you've already seen this, you saw it on Discord, but this poster of their dog was so fun to do. And like all the tree layers in the background there, like layering up all those bits of colour that when you zoom out, create a nice little forest. And then just duplicated it in the water. It's nothing that I haven't taught you already, to be honest with you. And I told you he comes back to me every year for wanting a poster of his dog. Have I got the original one? No, I don't. But yeah, that's some of the other stuff. Did I have anything else? Yeah, so that was one thing that I wanted to redo, was that one there, the sort of Northern Light sort of shape. There was something else I really, really wanted to redo, and just see what you guys thought. That's one I wouldn't mind doing. So that was meant to be like a sort of abstract version of Earth, I guess, with the moon surface down here and just making sure you get the light in and the shadows right. Because that's, again, something I wouldn't mind revisiting, just to try and, like, how would I go about doing that texture now? What would I do that was different? Has anyone used a Surface Pro? I haven't, my friend. I have not. And unfortunately, I saw that Flow, not against Flow, I mean as in, I saw Flow do a kind of Oriental theme style one recently, and I did this one a long time ago, and I would redo that sky complete. I mean, this is something, this is, what time is it? Tell you what, let's just very quickly duplicate this. Just see what I would change to this, because these mountains would get some work. The sun would get some work as well. For example, we'll duplicate that straight away, change that to add, go layers, Gaussian blur, blur that out, and you create a really realistic sun straight away. Huge change to that. Did I do the clouds on another layer? I did, so I would delete that. Do you ever look at your really early drawings you thought were really good at the time and think they're not good now, and you've progressed your skills? Yeah, I do. But mainly because you just pick up on these things as you go. Like, it's a very simple one like this one. This one's the YouTube tutorial. That sun is just a solid shape, and that, well, it's not actually, why is that not showing as white? Have I lost a light or something? I think the camera is trying to make sure it doesn't overexpose that. I think that's turning out. There you go. It's a solid shape. And so I look at that now and think that would look so much better again if you did exactly the same thing. Like I'm stumbling across that add effect and then just increasing the Gaussian blur on it. To me, those suns just look so much better. Like, and I zoom in, the edge is nicely softed. You don't have to do any of the work. It looks weird on camera because again, it's trying to, if I zoom in, that looks a little bit closer to what it actually looks like. That's what I would do. Yeah, just little things like that. This one here, that already to me looks so much better like that, but it's very close to flows. But I did draw it a year ago, so maybe I should post it. I don't like the positioning. There's too much mountain at the bottom, so that's a good example of what you were just saying there, Julie, is like the positioning's wrong there. I would bring that down. Why was it so, like, why is it so high? There's nothing, I'm not adding anything to the design here by leaving all that space. So move that down to like there, and that becomes a much better tutorial, design. Why do I keep saying tutorial? And then I would, you know, grab the same flat brush maybe. Should we try the flat brush? Let's try and do like circles. Obviously that first big chunky bit doesn't look right. That is true. Where is Dobby? Usually always there. What else would I add to that? Maybe like a glow from underneath, so like add in like the fog or something. Julie, do you ever do that with your own work? Do you ever look at your previous stuff and think you could improve on it now? Or does anybody? Do you all do that? That looks much nicer now with a little glow in behind there. You could maybe add the actual clouds brush to it. Or the rainforest ones, they could look pretty good. If I was to redo this, I think those mountains would completely get started again. I like the concept of this one. She got stuck at work. Ah, fair enough. I don't know what I would add to this sky. I don't know if I quite like how minimal it is. Like maybe it's actually the lighting on here that needs to change. Let's do it. I'd maybe airbrush it as well rather than paint it. Would drawing assist it? Where's the drawing guide? There it is. I think if you're doing this quite often, like Procreate in general, like a lot of you guys are with your tutorials, I think you just can't help but notice things that you would do better next time. You know, you have to, otherwise you maybe not digesting the stuff that you're taking in from the tutorials that you are doing, I guess. I guess everybody's coming along quite well. So from October last year to now, I'm doing better, and a lot to learn, but I'm on it. Exactly, you just got to keep going on with it, keep cracking on with it. I'm quite fortunate in a sense that, you know, doing all these tutorials, I have to draw all the time, so I have to improve, I have to keep doing better. So I appreciate like many hobbies, these things come in waves, don't they? It's something you pick up for a bit, and then maybe you don't find that because you've got the time, or maybe then you don't have the time. afterwards, once say Christmas has come and gone. Where's that pillar? Is it running through the middle? I think it is. See that already to me, on my screen anyway, by adding the much brighter highlight edge on the inside, it's kind of like focusing your attention towards the center. Like, I've still got a lot more work to do obviously in this design now to continue on with the rest of it, but immediately to me it looks better. Just moving the attention, where's the attention being drawn to, how can we move it, be in control of where the user's looking. I would probably flatten that surface actually. And then maybe create something here, like could we do like a path that's making its way down towards the actual structure maybe? No, I keep paint airbrush is boring. No, keep paint airbrush is boring. How dare you? Kevin's here. How you doing, Kevin? Good to see you, my friend. You don't like the airbrush? I love the airbrush. Ah, Julie, you've actually upset me there a little bit. I love it. Build it up, keep things nice and soft. The paint ones are fun, but maybe perspective blur it. Get rid of that top part. Pretty clean, pretty good, pretty good. But that, like, I can see the two next to each other. That was the one before. The position is just dreadful. The sun looks rubbish. And then that one already, just giving it 5 minutes of love, looks a lot better. I think it's just understanding what is it you're trying to achieve. I'm only joking, Julie. Not dreadful, but it doesn't make any sense to me, like the things I did in it. Like, it's too high. I understand maybe at the time what I was trying to do is just get the monument in the middle so that that's the center, but I didn't do anything with this space here. When I go back and I see this one, that to me is far better. Way more focus on the center, that's way brighter. Looks clean. Maybe I would like continue just to push. I think I'm on the eraser, that's why. Maybe I would push that lighting down a bit further. You know, just something like that. I think it looks way better. Kevin, doing pretty good. I think I have to go back and do the Patronus tutorial with a different Pokemon though. Ooh, what are you going to change your... Oh, Smeargle. That's a good idea, to be fair. That's a really good idea. Oh, he'd be a good Pokemon to use as a design, wouldn't he? I bet people don't know who he is though. It's kind of abstract, I would say. Pokemon. Right, well today we worked on probably what is going to be an upcoming tutorial. Happy accident there with the clouds that got flipped upside down and turned into what looked like water. I mean, I turned the grass off. It could be just water, and I think it looks great either way. I think it looks like nice water, like sea waves, but otherwise we can add the grass in front just to add a little bit of something extra. Maybe I wouldn't go as far as how high I've gone with that, just to reveal a little bit more of those waves. I don't know why I said it like that in the first place. Of those waves, something like that. But this, listen, like I said, I keep practicing this because I want to do it as a tutorial. I know in my mind now how it's structurally got to work, how I could go about presenting it. I've already set up the palette ready to go. It's just a matter of just keep practicing until I'm happy. And just like the add effect when doing the sun, you know, if I stumble across something as I'm practicing and just keep redoing it, I should end up with something like I may end up with just a little extra tweak here that just makes it really stand out. But that's what I drew today. We had the fiery one the other day, you know, with a couple of hills in the background. It looks okay. It's very bright. It looks a bit warm. It looks a tiny bit warmer on the screen that I can see there, or maybe it is actually just my screen. But like I say, coming back to it, I realised how warm it actually is. I would probably lower some of these red tones down a little bit more, but use some more red highlights instead. Didn't really do enough. But again, practicing, I'm learning to add in a lot more of these edge highlights on the clouds to really help them stand out. Like, compared to this one last week, I've already made quite an improvement, which I'm very, very happy about. There's not a lot of extra details added in here, and I was really pleased with that. So to go from that, I think the bottom half looks great. I think he looks cool, stood there looking into the sunset. That's what I mean. There's just something there. There's like there's something there that doesn't take away from that. It's just something to add to the scene. But yeah, I'm just keep practicing. This here will probably be a Patreon exclusive tutorial to wrap up the month, maybe, and then this will probably end up being YouTube. I'm not too sure yet how I'm going to work it out. I want to try and squeeze a Cooper one in, but the clouds is probably just going to be the first Patreon tutorial in February. Damn, what will we be up to then? We'll be up to, we've just done the 22nd, so the 23rd will be the last one in January, so we'll be up to the 24th Patreon exclusive tutorial. And so yeah, has anybody got any questions? Want me to show or demonstrate anything? And Marie loves the shadows. What's up, Ashit? How you doing? I wonder whether, just very quickly actually, just thinking about the add effect, I wonder whether there is something to be said to add in something here. Like, what if I added in a bright circle here, change that to add? It might look awful. Jesus. Okay, Gaussian and blur. Don't like it. Would I be able to show how to start a dog drawing, please? A lot of the time with like a dog drawing or like any pet drawing, it's best just to use a photo to get started with and just line art it. So grab a photo of the dog or anything that you want to use and just outline the shapes, change your color to black, grab a good line brush and just start outlining. So the head, you know, do the ears and just go around everything. And then you can just be very loose with the color, but that's about it really. I'm not going to do it now only because I just wanted to wrap up, but just see if there's any sort of questions at all. But I can maybe think about doing it maybe on a live stream or something. And life's good this year. Life's really good, my friend. Right, but that's it. So I'm going to wrap up. I'll keep practicing these. I'll get them ready for what will that be? How many weeks is that? Oh, we've got a little while yet. Yeah, a little while yet. Cool. So the latest tutorial is going to be out Friday. If you haven't already, do your Patronus tutorial and your Doodle challenge if you haven't already. And that's it, really. Nothing really else to say. I hope you all have a lovely evening, lovely morning, wherever you are in the world. I'll be live again next Wednesday, same as always. New tutorial out on Friday. And if you're not already a patron, you can hit the link in the description down below and come and join. There's links to all the equipment I'm using as well if you want to get any of that. But otherwise, I'll carry on a little conversation over on Discord if everybody else is in the chat. So yeah, enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you next Wednesday.